Peace, love. Let's get busy. Let's get busy. So, first off, shout outs to you for genuinely being you. Here's my message for the day. Take some time and let go of your frustration. Okay? Take some time and let go of your frustration. Start to learn that genuinely speaking, it is okay to be frustrated. Understand that it is normal, but how you respond is the biggest deal. I feel as though frustration leads into overthinking, and all that starts with anxiety. All these parts let you know, hey, listen, maybe I'm not in alignment with who I really am, okay? Thus, us getting into the aspect of human design and the idea of, like, I'm a generator. So my not true self is frustration. So if I'm frustrated, I can't be myself. So my whole goal and my whole purpose and mission is to handle frustration with ease. Try your best to handle frustration with ease. And go to Stella and check out that app. And they teach you about who you are based on your birthday and the time you were born. And they'll help you understand yourself a little bit better and all parts of you. All right, let's start with the first question. How does frustration affect your ability to manifest desires? Frustration can create a blockage in the manifestation process, hindering the alignment with your desires. Listen, everything that you want and need is already here. I think a lot of times frustration comes from the idea, first off, it starts off with anxiety. You're anxious to be physically where your spirit is, and you may physically not be there, but your spirit, which is the creative side of you, the genuine side, the soul of you, is always a lot. It manifests things a lot faster than your physical reality. It manifests things a lot quicker than your physical reality. So a lot of times our desires can get fucked up because you're not sitting down through frustration and actually taking time to reflect. That's the thing. You have to sit down and reflect. You have to sit down and be mindful. If you let frustration take over, it turns into overthinking. Now, if you're overthinking, you're all over the place, right? Now, being frustrated, remember I said it starts with the anxiety, leads into the frustration, which creates the overthinking. If you're overthinking, that means that you don't have your ducks in a row in relevance to what you desire. Everybody naturally knows what they desire. You don't even have to make, to be honest, the fact that you can get a piece of paper and write down your desires shows that you subconsciously know your desires. So that's the way it hinders the aspect of your desires, because you have to be in alignment. In order for you to manifest whatever you want, whatever you need, by the way, everything that you need is already here. But in relevance to manifesting what you want, you have to align yourself with your true self. If you're frustrated, there is no way, and like I said, frustration is normal. But if you're not responding to frustration from a space of trying to balance it and align yourself back with yourself, that can take you further away from what you desire. And the first thing you need to understand is that you have everything that you need. Everything that you want is based on this physical reality, but everything you need is already in you, and that starts with the soul, right? What role does mindfulness play in managing frustration and aligning with your true self? Practicing mindfulness can help in recognizing and addressing feelings of frustration, allowing for a deeper connection with one's true self. Remember what I said in relevance to me. Frustration is not my true self. I've sat down for years and made mistakes from the idea of maneuvering from a space of frustration, anxiety, and overthinking. And like I said, I'm a problem solver naturally. My profile is a 5'1". I'm a problem solver, genuinely. So I can handle any challenge. So I've always gotten things handled, but now we're more focused on the amount of energy we're using to handle things. See, it's one thing to be doing things mundanely, right? But it's another thing to get caught up in that mundane when things are consistently changing and it keeps requiring new rules, new mindsets, new instructions. So it's all about being mindful of now. Every moment is different from the last or different from what's to come. So now we have to put our mind in a space where we're open to being frustrated, but learning a new technique each and every time, because you can count on spirit to create another reality of itself, which creates the idea of polarity to you go here, be your highest self, and spirit hits you with another version of yourself that challenges you to go up. It's the same thing with Agent Smith and Neo. So there's always going to be Agent Smith and there's always going to be Neo, right? Because you have to understand what really creates us is that mastery during negative and positive posts. You being able to see the positive, being able to slow down through the negative, which creates your ultimate reality. And we could only imagine what that is. That's the unknown. So that's another idea of the letting go aspect. You have to be able to see both, because whether you like it or not, you see both. I know that's for me. I see negative, I see positive. I don't care about any one of them. I'm more so focused on being aware and mindful and privy to these ideas existing. And in my core, my spirit kind of branches out on what I'm supposed to do. So you always have the answers. It's just that you get more frustrated when you think the answers are supposed to come to you, rather than you allowing the answers to come to you. Yeah. How can acceptance of reality help reduce frustration and increase manifestation? Acceptance of reality can lead to a more peaceful state of mind, reducing frustration and enhancing the manifestation of desires. The whole goal is to see your desires clearly. I'm not talking about being able to recite how much desires you have. There is nothing literal about this. This is all spiritual as much as it is mental and physical. All three planes exist, right? So when you accept what you have now, spirit, your core, your gut, your soul, creates an understanding of, oh shit, I do find gratitude. Once I realize and I accept what I have, I realize that everything that I wanted is already in what I have. And that'll bring in the extra stuff that you might want, right? So you want to focus on acceptance. A lot of times, man, and I'm guilty of it myself, forgive yourself if you do go through this, we take a long time to accept. If you look at Robert Greene, book called Human Nature, it talks about the three stages. Endure, pity, and then embrace. Once you hold yourself accountable for what you're going through, you tend to embrace the pity that you were creating. So now you can embrace what you endured. And you're the creator behind that. And now you're achieved. That's what the mindfulness and the acceptance is about too. A lot of times we have to be mindful of the part that we play. We have to accept that we are the creator. I know there's some people waiting for a guy to jump out, a Caucasian male or maybe a black male to jump out the sky and raise you up into the idea of the rapture. I need you to understand all this stuff is not literal. It's not literal. The literal was the surface. You were supposed to go deeper in that. And that's another segment. But you were supposed to go deeper. We need to understand whether or not you like it, you are a version of what you're worshiping. I remember Brother Panic, right? Shout outs to Brother Panic. God rest his soul genuinely, even though his physical body is not here. I still feel him in the cosmics, and the frequency is still there because we're gods genuinely. Brother Panic was saying, right, that back in the days when you had the temples, they would first tell you who to worship. And then when you got to the 12th temple, like 12th grade, you were told that the people you were worshiping were actually you. It's time for you to realize that God is you. Even though God exists, you are God in God. I never said you are God without God. You are God in God. So there's no way for God to be vengeful unless you're at that state of mind and that paradigm and that consciousness. Yeah. In what ways can meditation and deep breathing practices help alleviate feelings of frustration? Meditation and deep breathing techniques can provide a sense of calm and clarity, aiding in the management of frustration. You got to understand, you can't have a business without management. Are you understanding me? You can't have a business without... Hey, give me a sec. Anywho, you can't have a business without management. Once you start to kind of understand that, you'll realize, oh shit, I get the idea of what's going on. You can't, listen, oxygen helps you. It helps your mind think. It's like when you're overthinking, that means you're overthinking. It's like you already thought this spiritually. Now you're trying to think this physically. And this is just my perception of it. It creates the pain, right? Because now you're doing double the thinking. That's why it's good to breathe. So when you start to feel that physical pain, you have a physical response. As you breathe, it opens things up and it clears the mind. It gives oxygen to the brain. So now the reticular activating system is working for you and not just happening to you. A lot of times, right, we're so engulfed in life's endeavors that you start to think that life is happening to you. Like, chance is one not knowing the cause. So what was the chances of that happening? You just don't know the cause. And a lot of us, we're too comfortable not knowing the cause. And I feel like the more you understand your soul and you breathe through that understanding, you're more so trying to manage that beautiful energy. Sometimes it's not always emotions. It's more so that beautiful energy that comes with the sacral. And now you're trying to manage that energy from a space of understanding. You can't intellectualize the idea of the sacral or your soul or your spirit. You have to manage and breathe through that. And then out of nowhere, things start happening for you when you become that magnet, right? So breathing and meditation is beautiful. And let me tell you something. A lot of you will say, well, oh, deep breathing, I can't do it. I don't have time to breathe. I don't have time to meditate. I need you to understand, if you take 5 seconds of your time and focus on breathing through where you feel that pain, that is an idea of manifestation. And this is how certain things I feel turn into diseases, because we don't stop it at the root, and it starts at the root. You feel me? So you got to clear that root out. Sometimes you just got to sit down and say, you know what? I let go of what I'm trying to hold on to. So the more you kind of understand that, is the more all these beautiful ideas start to flow with you. And then you're all of a sudden now, you're in the zone. But I need you to understand, in order to get into the zone, and this is high frequency energy, you need to be open for it. And the best way to be open for it is to breathe through it. All right. How does understanding your human design, such as being a generator, impact your relationship with frustration? Understanding your human design, such as being a generator, can offer insights into your tendencies towards frustration and guide you in aligning with your true self. Remember, the whole goal is to align yourself with your true self. Frustration is not a part of you. Okay? You need to understand that. Frustration was discovered when you got here. I've never seen a baby frustrated because it knew nothing about that. The most it did was cry, smile, and probably laugh. Hey, let me get some fucking milk. You know what I'm saying? That's the idea behind it. So now we're at a space, right, where we're learning our tendencies. You have to tap into your subconscious. That's why I like the idea of the human design. Like me being a generator is saying that I constantly have energy. I have more energy than the average person. Generators make up 37% of the society, or just the world itself, right? So there's not much of us. Like my lady's a generator, thus us being compatible. That can help you find out who you can potentially be with too. Now, and the app helps you do that too. So the idea is this. You want to learn your human design so you can kind of design your human. Because if you understand the makeup, now you can kind of have more authority in creating, right? Because I'm a natural leader, right? And these things that I knew, but it feels like my boy Justin said, it feels so good to see it on paper, written in a very meticulous way with me in mind. Yeah. So look into human design, try Stella, beautiful app. Shout out to my boy Justin. What strategies have you found effective in letting go of frustration and accepting your true self? Letting go of frustration and embracing your authentic self can lead to a more fulfilling and empowered life. Listen, I never said that everything was always going to be gravy, but I need you to change your perception of what you consider gravy, right? Because everybody makes gravy different ways. I need you to understand, right, that the idea is to respond to frustration from a different space. So as you let go of it, you don't have to intellectualize it. You don't need to know the why. And if you do need to know the why, you can ask your core. But if you're just starting out, the whole goal is to center yourself. Breathe in real time. Law of correspondence, as above, so below. If you move slow, and by the way, that's where I started at before I got here. If you move slow in real time, you'll start to realize all of a sudden your spirit develops those tendencies. So once you initiate and activate this process, it's consistent based on your perception, right? So you'll live a more fulfilling and empowered life, because one of the things about me being a generator, I'm big on satisfaction. So I become more fulfilled and empowered when I start to let go of things that have nothing to do with who I am. I know for sure frustration has nothing to do with me, because fuck, I've been through some situations that if I wasn't frustrated, I would have learned more from it. So now I approach situations from a space where it's like, you know what? I hear pessimism, but I understand that pessimism, these are just thoughts. They don't have any control over me. The more I center myself, I become more sound and calm and aligned. Frustration begins to dissolve itself. It's like stirring brown sugar in water. It takes a time and you have to stir. Yeah, we don't want the white sugar. We want the brown sugar because it's organic and natural. Shout outs to you motherfuckers using white sugar. I don't give a fuck, right? But it's the idea of You want to stir until it dissolves, and stir at a pace where you're not increasing your frustration. Sometimes we want things to be quick. That's why I used to use white sugar, because it made the lemonade quicker and I didn't have to add hot water to the bottom to dissolve it. So frustration is somewhat the same. Brown sugar, you have to take your time dissolving it, because the spirit energy is so organic when it comes to frustration that you have to take your time with it. You can't rush it. All right. How can recognizing and avoiding your not true self tendencies, such as frustration, benefit your overall well-being? Recognizing and avoiding your not true self behaviors like frustration can improve overall well-being and emotional balance. I need you to understand this whole thing is about balance. Yeah? It's all about balance. And, I was balancing earlier, right? And I was like, yo, isn't it weird how if you close your eyes, right, it's harder to balance in this physical reality. But if you open your eyes and focus on something, it's easier to balance. Now I find it a little hard to balance. So it's like I realized that when it comes to balancing, you need to be aware and focus, even with your eyes closed. But in real time, you need to be aware and you need to be focused. And that's why I created Emotions Made Easy. For those of you that are having a hard time balancing, I get you there like this. That's it. 5 minutes of your time, 10 minutes of your time is nothing to me because I've been doing this for years. So, yeah, go to blackraps.com with a Z and go to Emotions Made Easy. It's all over my page, all over my profile. And book a session with me today, right? I have a lot of beautiful clients, not too much, not too little, but I teach them how to get past frustration fast if they feel as though they're not capable. And then some of them have moved on to even being along my side, helping others too. The whole goal is to stop people from handling frustration without ease and confidence. So yeah, it does create some aspect of emotional balance when I focus on how to respond to my not true self. Yeah. What are some ways in which frustration can hinder your progress and growth in life? Frustration can impede progress and personal growth by clouding judgment and creating negative energy. Let me tell you this now. Negative energy is not bad. It's your perception and how you respond to negative energy. That's the case. Negative energy clouds your judgment when you allow it to. See what I'm saying? When you allow it to. Have you ever been talking to somebody, right? And let's just say, for example, you say, I'm going to go become a rapper. And you talk to a negative Nancy and they're like, man, I don't know if you could do that. By the way, it's mental telepathy. They're only projecting their version of putting themselves in the shoes of what you just said. They can't feel what you feel, by the way. That's a sidebar, right? And they go, damn, I don't think you can do it. It's the same idea. After you beat the Bowsers, this fucking light. Yeah. After you beat the Bowsers, I kind of like it. I like the on and off. It kind of snaps you back. After you beat the Bowsers, right? In relevance to learning how to flow and transmute the idea of negative energy, it's time to face yourself. Because you was only attracting, they call it mental telepathy. You were only attracting the idea of negativity because you were negative. And now that you're disassociating yourself from it, now you're stepping back and you have to face yourself, the biggest Bowser, right? But you always win. You always make it, trust me. So frustration does cloud judgment. And that's when the overthinking comes in. It does cloud your judgment. So what you need to understand, right, is even though clouds exist, planes can still go right through them. And even though clouds exist, you still can maneuver. You can still maneuver. So your best bet is, let me take a deep breath. And if you're not in the space to handle that now, you need to give yourself time to process. You need to give yourself space. You need to tell your core, hey, listen, I'm trying to work on my frustration, and your core will respond to you with a beautiful answer. You have to trust in yourself. How can shifting your perspective on frustration from a negative to a positive mindset help you overcome challenges more effectively? Shifting your perspective on frustration can help you see challenges as opportunities for growth and learning. So I just got a call earlier, right? My lady had told me, damn, the water's off. And right now I'm in a situation where I got plans to move out. You feel me? And we're commencing that process now, right? Now, when she called me with the expression, I'm like, damn, okay, cool. Get some, because I've been through so many situations. Shout out to my beautiful mom, and shout out to my beautiful mind, and shout out to my beautiful lady and my beautiful baby on the way, and my beautiful dog. One thing I noticed is that I told you I'm naturally a problem solver. So I could go, oh, wow. So this guy decides to, because right now we're not paying rent because we have to move out. Not only that, I refuse to pay rent in a place that has mold. So I was paying rent for a year and change, or probably even more, until I decided, hey, listen, you're not really fixing anything. I need to stop giving you this money that I'm earning for you doing nothing, right? Shout outs to the landlord. He's a good guy. Yeah, right? So we're in that situation now. We're on the verge of moving. And I thought to myself, I was like, okay, cool. So I end up reaching out to the landlord and let him know, because that's a violation. You know, we're already trying to move out, and we have a beautiful pregnant lady here, and upstairs we have newborns. Like, you gotta really think about what's going on, right? So even though I'm gonna finesse, get a bunch of water bottles, probably take a shower at the gym, make sure my lady is good, blah, 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 I was still able to handle it with ease when I decided to not get frustrated. I took a deep breath, and at this point, I don't even have overthinking no more. It's like a fucking disease. So now I assessed it, went to it. Before you know it, the water came back on. Apparently the daycare downstairs, they had did that, didn't let us know. You see how opportunities start to show up when you free and open your mind. Frustration closes your mind. And the whole goal is to be open, because openness creates that balance, right? So yeah, opportunities for growth and learning does come from shifting your perspective of frustration, because naturally we're pessimists. So we're learning to get out of that idea of living and understand that pessimism is normal, but how you transmute it and how you respond to it, now that's what the fuck you got to work on. And your spirit and your core, like my boy would call it, your ori anu, helps you understand that. Trust me, spirit got all the answers. Make sure the lights don't come off. Spirit got all the answers, and you have to allow it to spirit. You understand? That's how I write all my raps. I don't have writer's block. I don't think that's real. It's an illusion to me. If I don't feel like making a song, I just move on to another song, or I move on to reading or something. Maybe my spirit ain't calling for this. Listen to your spirit. So, but I don't write my raps, my spirit does. Can you share a technique or practice that has personally helped you work through moments of frustration and align with your true self? The technique of recognizing frustration, acknowledging it, and then releasing it through deep breathing and positive affirmations can help navigate through moments of frustration and align with your true self. You need to understand that frustration is not you. So before anything, you're going to take a deep breath. You don't even want to try to situate it. Don't find words for it. It's like I had this Chinese guy come in here, not me, but he came in to do a delivery, right? And he just tried to leave the package there. And he goes, I don't know what the fuck that means, but I know you understand micro expressions and you understand energy. I end up guiding him to the elevator. He went down and handled his responsibility, because it is not my responsibility. right? But it was the idea that I didn't get frustrated with him. I took a deep breath. I seem to do this naturally now because you get better with it. And I acknowledged the situation and I was open to being empathetic. You know, I heard him mumble a few English aspects and I say, hey, what the fuck? You do speak English. It's just the idea of maybe he didn't want to do that. He felt a little lazy-minded, you know what I'm saying? But it worked out. So you got to take a deep breath, acknowledge it, breathe. I accept that this is what it is. And I've done a lot of that. Positive affirmations, let go, I let go, I let go. That helps me also snap. I let go. I let go. Or here's a beautiful understanding that everybody knows. EFT, emotional frequency tapping, I think. Tap right here, tap right here, tap right here, tap right here, tap right here. And just take your time tapping for a while. And this is you channeling the frustration to a different part. Or get up and do something that you love. Frustration, it genuinely works itself out. Like I'll go play some Monopoly. Like I told you, you got to get used to normalizing the idea that frustration exists. I think a lot of frustration comes into your life when you try to avoid frustration. You're so focused on being comfortable, happy, but frustration exists because we live in this reality. So what you can do, acknowledge it, take a deep breath, and positive affirm, depending on what's your situation. Like I said, I let go, right? Or I like to take a walk up the steps and let my thoughts just genuinely maneuver, or EFT, emotional frequency tapping, I think it is, right? And you take your time. I've learned through all these aspects and it's led me here. And now I'm making YouTube videos on a regular. I got my clothing coming. I'm going to be a great father. I'm a great guy to my lady. Marriage coming soon. I'm where I need to be and where I'm supposed to be. So try it out. Much love, much peace. Subscribe if you haven't already. Subscribe for more beautiful information. And I'm helping you through everything. Yes, everything. Go to Emotions Made Easy if you need that help now. blackraps.com, blackwrapz.com, and go on there. Book a session. Listen, I'm doing a New Year, New You challenge, 21 days builds a habit, and I help you build some beautiful habits, right? The first month is free. Go on there. There is the idea where you use the code to get that free month off, and let's get you started. And whether you choose to continue or not is solely up to you. But it is up to you. Take control of your life. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, if anything, and you can watch beautiful videos like this. I post every Tuesday and Sunday, and we're getting active. And I'll fuck around and just post whenever I feel like it, genuinely. But for now, we got a series every Tuesday and Sunday. And then I got glimpses of vlogs between me and my lady and myself in my personal life. And we're getting better. Just know, I wasn't where I was at now then. I created this reality by believing in myself, and so can you. Love you guys. Appreciate you. Gotti fam. Enjoy. And you know, GAWDI is the name. Gotti. Genuinely aware with divine introspection. And you are the Gotti fam. Enjoy. Appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Air hugs, air hugs, air hugs. Continue to be yourself and you can make it through anything. Love you guys.